Hey guys, my name is Nick, and no, the channel is not dead, just on a bit of a hiatus because I'm incredibly busy these days. I've Twitch where I try to do 2 live streams a day now because I'm having a lot of fun with that. It's just been an incredible experience. I'm moving somewhere near the end of the month, and I've been preparing for that. It's chaos. And so with all that, I just haven't had the time to make videos for the YouTube channel. I hope any of you who still watch this channel left can sort of understand it, that there are just other things right now that take up priority. So that's why the videos have been low. I am not giving up on this channel though. It's just gonna have to take a little bit of a backseat for a while I work on other things. There's still gonna be videos coming out whenever I have time to make them. Like today, because this weekend was the Lost Thunder pre-release. So of course I had to look at the pre-release kits where I already opened the kit to play with during the pre-release, but I tried to put everything back the way I found it so I can show it to you guys how I got it out of the box. Before we get to that though, of course we have the winners from the last video, which was like a month ago, so if you've forgotten you even entered, I wouldn't be surprised. But I asked you guys what your favorite Celestial Storm card was, and we had a lot of replies. Well, imagine that if you leave the entry open for like a month. And so for the winners I sort of picked the answers that were kind of my favorite cards as well. We had Kowai, who liked the gold rainbow energy, one of the many secret rares. And I think I also really like that one as well, because if you get it, it's a good rainbow energy. You can always use that. When Celestial Storm goes out of standard, that gold rainbow energy will still be a thing you can use. And I always like it when you can use older cards to substitute for newer ones. Then we had Beat You Easy, who went with the full art Steven. And although the artwork on the full art, in my opinion, isn't the best full art trainer, I do like using that card playing a lot, because I usually like to put that in my deck along with Tapu Lele GX, and a lot of the times when I have the chance I use Tapu Lele GX on the first turn to find that Steven's resolve and then play that when I can't attack anyway. Then we had Dangle12, who liked Shrine of Punishments. I also like the Punishment of Shrines, because it has really shifted the meta away a bit from all those powerful GX cards, and a lot of the smaller cards have been seeing a lot more play because of it. So I think that Shrine of Punishment has been really nice for playing the game in that regard. And the last winner was Snorlink, who went with Full Art How, which technically is not a card from the Celestial Storm set. The Full Art How is from Guardians Rising, as you can see down there. But How did get a reprint in Celestial Storm, and that I really liked. Even though How is not really a card that you play that much, I do like How just as a character from the games. So you guys all win a Celestial Storm code and should receive a message from me sometime after this video. As for the codes from this video, because yes, I will be giving some Lost Thunder codes away, I was gonna ask you guys, what do you guys think of this guy, like the weird Thunder Punch kitten, which has a name that's very similar to Zoroark, but it's not. Zerura or something. I still don't quite know what his name is. He's a new card in the set, and apparently something you can special event in the games as well. I really don't know that much about him, so I'm just gonna ask you guys, what is your opinion on the Lost Thunder Punch cat? What do you like about him? What don't you like about him? Share your opinions in the comments below for a chance to win one of the Lost Thunder codes. And then also don't forget to click that link in the description below to connect to me if you've never done that before. That is a thing you need to do. Otherwise I can't send you the codes. It's a really annoying part of the message system that YouTube uses these days. But yeah, without further ado, let's check what I got in this Lost Thunder pre-release kit. We got a box. And then of course there's stuff inside of the box. We start off with a little flyer with, again, Thunder Punch kitten on the front. And some text about some of the stuff that's in this set, featuring Celebi Prism, Ditto Prism, Blacephalon GX. Wait, is that his name? I thought that was a completely different name. Oh no, it's down there. Zerora GX. Not Zoroark GX, Zerora GX. Then what the hell is a Blazion? Oh wait, that's the little clown thing, isn't it? Also Lugia GX, Tyranitar GX, and lots of others, because this set is freaking massive. I was like, okay, the Sun and Moon sets are too big. I hope one day they'll realize that and start going back to smaller sets. No, we get a set of like 250 cards. And then there's some building tips, which I'm pretty sure is the same text they use every pre-release. And then we get some cards. Of course, we get some energies first that I used to build my deck with. I got a bunch of electric because, well, that's what I use for my deck, really. Then we have the promo. It's a Giratina. Quite an interesting card. Distortion Door. Once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you may put it onto your bench. If you do, put 1 damage counter on 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, which is really interesting. It also has Shadow Impact, which is not that good. Sure, it does a lot of damage, but it also does 4 damage counters on 1 of your own Pokemon, which is not worth it in my opinion. It's that ability that could see some interesting play, although overall I'm not that impressed. Some people have been telling me that this is a really good card. I think it's a niche card. Like, it works really well in a few kinds of deck, but for the most part I don't think it's that good. Some people suggested using it with Zoroark GX, but yes, as much as I would say, yeah, that would work nice, it still takes up a slot in your deck just to have a card to use with Zoroark GX's ability to discard it and put it back. And it's just, I don't think this card is as good as some people will say it is, but you can at least do some interesting things with it. And then we have the little 22 card pack that comes with the promo. And of course, we get some Psychic Pokemon to go with Giratina. We have a Natu with the Lost March attack, which I'm still not sure about. It evolves in Xatu, which you can now see why I used electric energy in my deck. I just focused on energy gaze. 30 damage, but plus 60 if your opponent has any energy cards in their hand, which I found really useful. We also got a Poipole and a Nugget, which is really interesting. Fun fact, a bit of a spoiler for the other pre-release kits I'll show in later videos. Every kit came with one of these, a Poipole and a Nugget for some reason. And just one of each as well, making them extra difficult to use at a pre-release. But yeah, once you have your Nugget on the bench, you can just charge it up with energies from your discard, which I found really useful. And then Turning Point is not a bad attack. And then we also got some electrics in this kit with some Mareeps, which are just Paralyze, Fluffy, which actually confuses, which is somewhat nice. And then you get to Ampharos. Unseen Flash. Once during your turn, you may put 2 electric energy cards from your hand in the lost zone. If you do, your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. Now that is really expensive. I didn't really use that ability all that often, but one of my opponents did, and they used it quite beautifully, so there is some potential to this. Basically, he put his energies in the lost zone, and then he followed it up with another electric, which actually did more damage because of that. And at some point I also had a Xatu on the field, so my opponent used that ability to get rid of the energies in his hand. And then there's also Split Bomb, which is, it was at least very powerful at the pre-release, where you could just do 50 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So if you were lucky, you could lock a useless Pokemon in the active position and then just use Split Bomb to attack the bench, which was quite powerful at the pre-release at least. And then we also get a bunch of trainers. We get the Nest Ball and Timer Balls again. Good to see we still get Sun and Moon cards of this. I used to get a lot of House. Like, How was the card I had the most of from Sun and Moon, but now it's Nest Ball. Because we keep getting those, and How at least got a reprint in Ultra Prism, so at least I have 2 different kind of House. And then we get a Spell Tag, which is one of the new trainer cards. When your Psychic Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. I think it's not that good, because it only works on knockout. And then we have a Lily, a Copycat, there's that How reprint I mentioned, Underground Expedition. And then another new trainer, Professor Elm's Lecture. Search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon with 60 HP or less, reveal them and put them into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So it's like Bridget, slightly different specifications. Like that HP needs to be low, which I found could be a little more difficult than Bridget. On the other hand, you can have a stage 1 with 60 HP and it would work. I don't know how many of those exist, potentially it could. And lastly, we have a Sightseer, which was kind of nice as well. You may discard any number of cards from your hand, then draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. If you can draw any cards in this way, you can play this card. Which is quite nice if you want to reshuffle your hand, but you have that one card in your hand that you really want to play, so you can hold on to that one card, discard all the other cards, and then get 4 more new cards, which I think is quite useful. And then, of course, we get to the booster packs. Now, I have to say, right, we just looked at the kit with the 22 cards. I didn't see that much variety. It's the problem with having such a big set. 250 cards again, something along those lines. Around that number, I think it is. It's so much that it's very difficult to get some proper evolution chains and stuff from 4 booster packs. So most of the people would just keep playing the cards from that little kit, and so did I. And that made for somewhat boring battles during the pre-release, I have to say. Again, just another reason why they shouldn't make these sets so big as they do. Anyway, let's take a look at the first pack. Starting off with a Water Energy, we got a Pineco Chikorita. Beautiful artwork on the Chikorita, I say. Hoppip, which is also part of the new Night March chain. A Combi, because of course there has to be a Combi in the Night March set, even though it doesn't do anything related to Lost March. Ralts, we have a Go-Goat, Electabuzz, Mixed Herbs, which is one of the new trainers. You can play 2 of them at once. If you play 1 card, remove a special condition. If you play 2, heal 90 damage and remove all special conditions. And then we also have an Onyx for the reverse holo, Land Crush for 120 damage, but it is colorless, so technically you can run it in any deck. Useful at a pre-release where you just have to make use of the things you have. And then lastly, we got a Victini with V Beatdown. This attack does 20 damage for each of your basic Pokemon in play, which can be quite good. And up next, we have a Psychic Energy. And another Pineco, Denone, Yanmask, Trico, Cyndaquil, Wait and See Hammer, where you can use this card only if you go second and only on your first turn, which seems very limited use. At the pre-release someone did manage to use it against me at some point, but yeah, and all it does is discard 1 energy from your opponent's Pokemon. I don't know, I'm not too sold on this one. We also have a Cascoon, a Fairy Charm, which we'll see a lot more of later when we open up the other kits. Prevent all damage done to the fairy Pokemon this card is attached to by attacks from your opponent's Psychic, GX and EX, which again seems very limited use, but there are a bunch of fairies in the set that actually have extra effects when the Fairy Charm is attached. So the Fairy Charm itself not that good, but there are some cards that make better use of it because of their own attacks. And then for the reverse holo, we don't have one, we have a Thunder Mountain Prism, which for a card is quite good, right? This attacks the attacks of electric Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's, cost 1 electric energy less, which is really nice. And whenever any player plays an item or supporter card from their hand, to prevent all effects of that card done to the stadium card. So you can't field blower this thing. The only way to remove it is using a Pokemon attack or another stadium, which is quite nice. It wasn't as useful at a pre-release where people only use 4 types. I did put it in my deck to use with Ampharos, but the only time I got to use it, my opponent also played Ampharos, so we didn't really get anything out of that. And the last card is a Grand Bull. And then we have the next pack with the Blacephalon on the front. I still can pronounce that thing. It's so weird. We have a Metal Energy, a Scyther with another colorless attack. A lot of Pokemon with colorless attack in this set, which I kind of liked. At least we have a Litleo, Pikipek, Cutiefly, Professor Elm's Lecture again, Shuckle, not the GX one, but don't fuckle with Shuckle, Netball, which allows you to search for a basic grass type Pokemon or a grass energy, which is really nice if you want to build a grass deck, a Cyndaquil reverse holo, and the last card is a Gardevoir holo with an attack, Brilliant Search. Search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So it's like Sylveon GX, only as a baby, although it is a stage 2, so there's advantages and disadvantages there. Although that attack though, Sensitive Ray, if you played a supporter card from your hand during this turn, this attack does 90 more damage. So it does 160 damage each turn you also play supporter cards, which seems really good. And then the last pack with Thunder Punch Kitten on the front. We have a Fighting Energy, Skidoo, Chansey, Stunfisk, which was surprisingly useful during one of my battles, because my opponent managed to put up to 90 damage on it, and then they couldn't do anything anymore because everything they put out on the field got destroyed by Flail. He was supposed to take some damage in the first turn, and he won me the match single-handedly, basically. We have a Snubble, Litleo, a Lowland Duck Trio, a Shiinotic with FX4 if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon and is damaged by an opponent's attack. Even if it's knocked out, the attacking Pokemon is now asleep, which is nice. But if you're gonna use a Fairy Shiinotic, I still recommend the one that searches for Fairy Pokemon. We have a Faba. Choose a Pokemon tool or special energy card attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon, or any stadium card in play, and put it in the Lost Zone, which I think this might be a potential candidate for my Magikarp deck. And then we have a Reverse Hollow Dedenne. And lastly, we have a Wigglytuff, which is one of the lines you can get from the pre-release kits. I didn't get it in this first one, but it has some nice attacks. Expand during your opponent's next turn. Pokemon takes 30 less damage, and Charmed Slap. If this Pokemon has a Fairy Charm attached, there it is, the Fairy Charm, it does 70 more damage. So Wigglytuff with a Fairy Charm is quite powerful. And that's what makes the Fairy Charm interesting. Not the charm itself, but the attacks that some of the Pokemon have that use it. And that was it for the pre-release kit. That was everything I got. A bit disappointing on the pulls, I'll admit, because these were the only big pulls, the Gardevoir Hollow and a Thunder Mountain. No fancy new Jaxes or anything, but I got something at least, so that was nice. Maybe you guys will have more luck with the codes. Again, if you want to win one, let me know your opinions on the new Thunder Punch kitty in the comments below. And as usual, I'll pick my favorite answers and announce them in the next video, which will hopefully come out a lot faster than this video did. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again in another video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can click up here to watch another one. And if you just want to watch me play some video games, you can click down here to go to my gaming channel. Whatever you decide to do, thank you very much for watching and have a very nice day.